Hey everyone's JackelWolf back in MC Eternal with another 5 minutes. That's how I did it. Now, if you've been following along, you know that we are working our way through the quest book. Last episode, we did the 2 elevators, which are blocks that we can place in our world, in a line vertically, and we can sort of teleport from one to the other. We also did the waystones, which is very, very similar to the elevator, except you can go horizontally all over your world. There are placed waystones, usually in villages, but you can craft them yourself, and you can use them to get around to different places. What we did last time for the waystone is we went and found this place over here. We got a bunch of mob spawners. There's actually a dungeon down in the bottom of that house. This was a full tower. I accidentally went a little too far. When you defeat the boss of the tower, it sort of starts to collapse. So that wasn't good. It should have been as tall as that. But for what we're going to do today, this actually short one's probably a little bit better because I don't need a full-on automated mob spawner that high, although it would be really, really cool to do that. This one here is a little bit more manageable. I've got 3 layers of double spawners, which is pretty good. Unfortunately, I've only got 1 skeleton. All the rest are spider. Not the end of the world. Again, for a demonstration, this works, but there are an absolute ton of spawners all throughout the world. There's a dungeon in there. There's a whole bunch in there. There's little huts everywhere that have got them. So you will find a lot of different ways of using this that's going to make sense for what you need. So what we are going to do this episode is move all the way up top, and we're going to work on the mob fan, the absorption hopper, and the XP drain. These are all sort of combined. Next episode after this, we'll work on the mob masher and a couple other ways to automate your mob grinder there. So to start, what we need to do is make ourselves a mob fan. Now, this is a cool little block that when placed and turned on with a redstone signal will basically push a mob away from it a certain number of blocks. It is modifiable, so you can increase the range, the width, and the height on it. We're going to show you how to do all of those here today. But to start, to build a mob fan, you're going to need 4 stone slabs. They have to be the stone slabs. You can't use the cobblestone. 4 iron and a block of redstone. So every single mod pack is a little bit differently, so that recipe will change from mod pack to mod pack, but for MC Eternal, that's what we got to use. And since we're up here with our crafting tables, what we're going to want to do is build a couple of modifiers. So the first one that you're going to want to build is a mob fan width modifier. That's going to increase the width that the fan is effective. So that is going to take 4 iron ingots and 3 feathers, and we'll take that. Very, very similar is going to be the mob fan upgrade height. This is going to increase the effective area height-wise. One thing to keep in mind, though, it bumps it up and down. So you're actually going to want to raise the height of your fan when you do this. But we'll get into that here in a moment. Very similar to the width one, though. It is 4 iron ingots and 3 feathers in the vertical column there. So that gets you your fan height upgrade. And then last but not least, we're not going to need them for this build. I've sort of planned it out. And actually the way the build works with the default distance. But you can do an upgrade that will push the distance out a little bit further. So if you are a block or 2 short, a couple of these will work in your mob grinder, and you'll push them a little bit further. All of these are stackable up to a maximum of 3. So you can add 3 extra. Oh, sorry. Actually, the distance you can actually go all the way up to 10. So the height and the width, you can go 3 extra wide, and then the distance one, you can go an extra 10. So to make a mob fan upgrade distance, it is 4 iron ingots and 4 feathers with 1 piece of redstone in the middle. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down 1 layer here, and I've kind of got this all sort of set up. This is the top layer here. I've got the 2 spawners. Down below it, you can see I've got another layer, and then way down at the bottom are 2 more spawners. So I've kind of pre-built all of this because this is just really, really grindy part of the video. But what we can do is we can take the mob fan. I'm going to place it on a block, and then I'm going to open it up right away and then show area. So this is the area that's going to be affected by the mob fan. And if we wanted to, we can go 1, 2, 3, and then all we're going to do now is power it on. And the easiest way of doing that is with a lever of some sort. So we go click that, turn it on, we come up to the front, you can see it is moving now. Before it wasn't moving. If we move into this area, it pushes us back. Now, this is good for mobs that are 2 blocks high. If you had a single block high mob or smaller, like the cave spiders we've gotten here, you're going to have a little bit of a problem. That's where these modifiers come in. So what we want to do is we want to make sure it's going to capture the spiders and the skeletons. And spiders do climb, so it's handy to have it, pretty much right up to your roof. I've left this open for the moment. I am going to close it in to keep this 3 high, just because I don't want these spiders climbing up the wall, climbing higher than the actual fan area. So if we open this up, we can put in that height, and you can see it is now a full 3 blocks high. If I had that fan down on the bottom, it would only be 2 blocks high, because it would be pushing into the actual bottom block. It wouldn't be very effective. So that is fine. We can come in. We still get pushed back right over to the edge of that fall there. But as you can see, it is 3 wide. Actually, let's go and turn this off. So like I was saying, I've got a 6 wide spawn area here. I could put 1 fan in the middle and do multiple, or I can, what I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to have a fan for each side, each one doing 3 spaces total. So what we're going to do is we're going to go pop that in, pop in the width modifier, and there you go. So this now will cover half of the spawn area, and then the one that I put in here will cover the second half. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and start setting this up and getting everything all ready to go, and then we'll jump back once it's all done. Okay guys, so here we are. Basically there is a iron fence pole right there that's keeping the cave spiders from sneaking out. They are very, very tricky. If you do a half slab, they can actually sneak through that. It makes it very, very difficult. I had to go too high because of the skeletons. Right now this is just manual. Next episode we'll concentrate on making it a more automatic one. But basically, we could just, stay right here and just hack away at all these guys. It's great for experience. You can just see there's just a ton of mobs here. And what I need is a better slashing weapon. Right now I've got, this cleaver is not great for slashing. But there's certainly definitely better weapons out there. I'm not going to leave this as manual for very long. This is going to go very automatic. But what we're going to do is we're going to go back up to the top. We're going to grab the last 2 items that we want. So the last thing we're going to do today is build ourselves that absorption hopper. Now you can see there was a lot of drops going on down there. I didn't want to get too close. And then, eventually my inventory is just going to fill right up. So the absorption hopper is really, really cool, is that it will take loose items in a predetermined area around your world and basically, suck them up. So to make an absorption hopper, we are first going to need an Eye of Ender, then simply blaze powder and ender pearl. We take that Eye of Ender, put it in a crafting table with 3 pieces of obsidian and a hopper. That gets us the absorption hopper. Now, we see from the description there, it will vacuum up items and XP orbs in a 7x7 area. So that's very, very important. We're going to need to know about that. I'm going to leave these 2 items here for next time, but one thing we're going to have to do today is build ourselves a tank. Because the absorption hopper will suck up XP orbs, we need a place to store that. So the tank is going to be a good option for that. So that is going to be 4 pieces of obsidian and 5 glass panes. That gets you 2 tanks, which is really, really good. And we're going to go ahead back down to the bottom here. And what I'm going to do, this is not set up great. I can remove these stairs at some point in the future. But what we're going to do is we're going to go place the absorption hopper here. And you can see it's already sucking up items, throwing them all in here. And it's sucked up that experience, which is really, really good. What I want to do, let's actually get rid of that stair right now. And we're going to go throw those 2 tanks right there. If we right click on the absorption hopper, we've got a couple of things we can choose from here. So right now we can show the area that it's sucking up stuff in. This is bigger than we need. Really, everything's going to be landing right here, but that's fine. You may want to move it back. What we can do is we are facing south, so we want our offset. Let's go 1, 2, 3, and that's perfect. So everything here in that green is getting picked up. That's including all the drops that are, way back in the building, which there shouldn't be too many. They should all be, popping up right here. So that is good. to get the XP into the tanks, we're going to click that back open again. This, if I'm facing south, that means this is east on this side here. So we're going to go want to click the east to fluid. No, sorry, I guess I was wrong. It is the west to fluid, and then it's pushed all that fluid over here. So as these mobs die, let's see if we can't... It's just one of them's got a walrus on their head. And so all that XP is getting sucked up by there and thrown into that tank, which is good. Next episode, I'll show you how to take your XP from your inventory and store it in there and get it out so you can do whatever it is you need to do with your XP. Next up, though, we want to place for some inventory. So I got a couple of chests. So that guy's got a rubber duck on him. Oh, that is awesome. So we'll put the chests right up there for now. Right click on it. So we know this one's going to be the east. We'll flip that to item. And you see it's taking all those items and it's shoving them over into here. Those stairs are mine. I ended up breaking them. And yeah, you can see all the different stuff that we're picking up from this hopper. And as we go and right now manually go and kill all these guys, all those items are getting picked up and thrown back in here. So I need a better storage system for sure, but for now, this is going to work absolutely perfectly. But you know what? That's going to be it for this one, guys. Let's pop really quickly into our quest book. So we did the mob fan today, which was the loot reward, 16 arrows. I've had much better. 50 loot monies, that is good. And then the absorption hopper, 75 monies, and ooh, a flamethrower. Now I probably need some sort of fuel with, ooh, maybe not. Oh, now, if that's not a way to grind out mobs, I don't know what is. Like, well, you can see the XP just going up there. Okay, I've got my new favorite toy now, right? That is, I did not think we would ever catch up there. Look at that. Oh, that is so cool. So we got to get a little bit of a feel of what's going on in here. One thing I did do is I took that distance modifier and I put it on this fan here just to force everybody into this corner. As well, I also put a fan here to push them off to the side. So you can see, you know, as they fall down, they're immediately getting shoved over, and we can go and take care of that. That is so cool. Oh. Okay. It was a little bit better when there was multiple guys there. He couldn't actually hit me. Not the best setup for skeletons, but this is mainly a spider spawner, so that is fine. All right, so that is cool. I like that one. That's probably one of the best rewards I've gotten in a while. Next up, was that everything? That was everything we got. Let me know in the comments below if you guys did any of these quests any differently than I did. I would love to hear all the different ways out there. There are to do mob grinders. Again, this is the manual one. We will work on an automatic one next episode. There are a ton of different mob spawner and mob spawner types out there. So there's definitely a lot of room for variance here. So this is just one of the ways that you can set up a mob spawner, but it's definitely worth it. You can see we've almost got a full tank worth of experience over there already. But if you enjoyed this video, please think about leaving a like and a subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at JackelWolf. Also, check in the description below. There'll be a link to my Discord page. I would love it if you guys stop by to say hi. As well, there'll be a link to my Patreon page. If you enjoy this channel, if you enjoy this content and you want to support, stop by, check it out. There are a lot of great perks out there for all of my supporters, one of which is the Patreon-only Minecraft server. We just recently got our third tier 2 or above Patreon, and that is just about to get set up. So if that's something that interests you, playing with me on a, basically a private Minecraft server, stop by, check it out. But that is it. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.